Hey folks, hope you're doing well. As you can see, a couple of slight changes to my recent uploads in that firstly I am actually introducing it, and secondly there's been a few changes to the setup which I'm just going to run through briefly now. Firstly, and most importantly, Garfield is back and he can be found right there. The robot has had to move on top of the modular here, which is another change to the setup. It's not going to be used in this jam, but I have a Nifty case. I bought the Nifty bundle, so that's two of the original modules. I've got the Captain Big O, also from Create Audio, and two Dreadbox modules. Eudaimonia, however you say that, filtering mixer, and the Ataxia dual modulator. But I will be doing some jams with that going forward. For this jam, it's going to be really rough and ready, because this is still a piece in development. So I haven't actually yet assigned any scenes to this. This bottom row here would all be illuminated green. I don't know if that's clear on the video, but this would all be illuminated green if I'd assigned scenes. So I may or may not assign scenes as I go through the jam. So I haven't really practiced this much. It's, as I say, still in development. I'm a little bit unclear as to what I've assigned to where, so expect some errors and, you know, a few bloopers, I think. But like I say, this is a work in progress, and I just thought it'd be kind of interesting for you to see how I just jam things out and start to build up ideas for a more dynamic arrangement. But I've got 2 or 3 melodic elements, Volca FM, which is now located over here. That's functioning as a more percussive thing in this jam. I have a polymetric sequence running on Synth 1. At some stage I'm going to have to come to a dead stop to sort of reset it if I want to trigger another non-polymetric sequence. Outside of that, I only have 2 Minibrute patterns going for this one, and the first one's actually just a really minor variation and it just has a few less notes. So I'm going forward, I guess I'm going to have to try and develop maybe something a little bit more for a breakdown or a B section. Mixer should just about be in shot, and I may or may not be using that to kill off the brute for certain sections, because as some of you may know, I actually use the sequencer on the Minibrute rather than the circuit tracks, because that, you know, gives me an extra sequence, and it sort of dates back to when I was using the original circuit, which only had the 2 sequences. Yeah, the ultimate goal for this will be to get some scenes assigned and to give it a specific runtime and arrangement, because my good friend Tobias over at Shellshocked Radio keeps asking me for some music to play on his show, and of course all my jams is kind of a non-radio friendly length. As long-term viewers of my channel will be familiar with my long and rambly synth jams. Like I say, that is going to be the end goal here, and try and get a version of it that's sort of anywhere between I don't know, 4 and 6 minutes, I guess. And of course I actually have my handy little kitchen timer here, which is something I use just to keep track of how long I've been jamming for when I'm doing these videos. If I don't have a preset arrangement, then it just stops me going on for too long. I mean, typically when I'm doing this on my own, you know, these can go on for like 45 minutes, and you think to yourself, well, great, I did some things I think were kind of cool there, and you look at the clock and like 45 minutes has gone by. Of course, that's when you realise, I'm really going to have to practice a bit more to see if I can nail it in a more dynamic arrangement. So yeah, going forward for the channel, I've just upgraded my internet, so I may be able to stream sometime soon. This camera actually doesn't have clean HDMI, so it can't really be hooked up to a stream service. I do have quite an old Logitech webcam, and it'll do HD and it'll do a reasonable frame rate, just not at the same time. So I'm going to try and deal with that problem going forward. Also, I do hope to do a more in-depth kind of rig rundown, showing you how I've got everything hooked up, and I would say what my workflow is, but I haven't done that many jams with the tracks, and I've only just finished transferring all my sequences from the original circuit to the tracks. And for those of you that are interested, there is no easy way of doing this. I had to hook one up to the other via MIDI and simply record the sequences sort of one by one. One last thing, I'm recording directly from the mixer's USB output straight into Audacity. So, without further ado, let's see if I can bust out a jam. I think I'm going to call that a take. I don't know how that came out.